Middle Tennessee is crazy. Like, it's such a big difference, and the fans really made it special as well. Like, just keeping the energy there and things like that. So,
yeah, being able to play in an atmosphere like that was really, really good. So that help me go out there and play better. I'm just blessed to be able to have the opportunity to play and just be able to do it with these guys and all of the other teammates.
Yeah, I was just blessed to get through fall camp healthy, and the fans made it just a great experience for all of us and the rest of the team.
Question for Brandon and Mekhi. I'm curious, there were so many different offensive line combinations in front of you guys. Do you notice that when you're in the game and the guys in front of you?
I feel like we're comfortable with anybody who's in there, and because they know their job and they do it well. So we just run.
Yeah, basically what he said, just like really you won't notice it because everybody knows their job, everybody has something to do, and everybody just does their 111.
Matt, Jake, and Chris to wrap with these guys. Matt?
Any three of you guys, or for all three of you guys, you score 3 of the first 4 possessions in the second half. Obviously, the offense wasn't doing as well. Was there anything to that? Was it what they were doing, what you guys were doing? Not trying to show too much, or I guess how do you explain the halves, the differential?
It's the first game, so we still trying to figure some things out and try to work out the kinks, and we still working, still grinding at it. So it's nothing in particular that went wrong.
Yeah. I really just say just being able to know we need to clean up and just get it fixed for the next week and just keep getting better each and every day.
Right, there's always something to work on and continue to get better.
And this is for Brandon and Mekhi. You guys were in the same recruiting class, both from the same area, both followed Coach Smith here from Oregon State. You were committed there. How cool is it in game 1 of year 2 for you guys to both have, reach the end zone, both have good games?
We've been doing it since youth, so it's fun to do it on a higher level now.
Yeah, it's cool to see each other, like being able to go out there and have success and just being able to help each other on the things that we need to fix and being able to tell each other like where we're doing good and where we're not doing good.
Just for Amari, Coach Smith talked all week about this not expecting it to be perfect and kind of playing through some of those adversities. I'm wondering how you felt the resiliency in the offensive side was, and then also, did you kind of get a chance to watch what the defense did, and what did you think of their performance tonight?
I'm going to start with the defense. I feel like they came out very, very explosive, and, we expected that because, at practice, it's always back and forth with us. Like, we might have a good day, and then they're going to have a good day, and then we might have a better day, back and forth. So I just feel like they did everything they were supposed to do and really executed and did all their jobs. And then, what was the first part of that question again?
The resiliency that the offense showed. And you got, after those first 2 drives, some sacks,
Yeah.
stuff, and then you got kind of fought through it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's still the first game. We still trying to work some things out and polish some things up. So that's gonna come with it, being the first game and things like that.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Go Green.
Thank you. Yep, go Green.
This question's for all three of you guys. You know, whole off season, putting together a new defense. What you could think of your guys' performance overall? Obviously, you know, everything but a shutout minus the pick six late. Just how you guys were able to hold up and keep them out of the end zone.
Go ahead. Yeah, I think this is a good starting point for our defense. You know, not allowing any points defensively is a big accomplishment, something that we're going to hold proud on to. But like I said, it's a good starting point. There's still a lot of mistakes that happen out there today, a lot of ways we can improve. But as we continue to go through these weeks, that's what we're going to continue to do is improve and try to limit those mistakes as much as we can. But I like the way we responded in situations today. Some drives didn't go our way. We had to blow up at the end of those drives and get it done. But I loved how we were able to do that.
Yeah, you know, I think like Jordan said, it's a good starting point. We've been working really hard all season to get to this point, and you know, everything you do is either 1 or 0, and it was a 1 for us today. There's some things that we got to clean up, but we'll do that, and then we're on to the next one. So.
Just to piggyback off of them, it's definitely things that we need to do to improve on throughout the season, but this was definitely a good starting point for us. Just like J. Hall said, the guys responded really well, and it felt like we were out there playing together, you know? So this is something we need to do every week, day in, day out.
Question for all three of you guys. One of the topics we were always asking people about is the pass rush, and if it was going to come together this season. When you look at the stat sheet and see 8 quarterback hurries, 3 sacks, is that the kind of performance you guys wanted to start with?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a pretty good start. That's something that we've been emphasizing throughout since Rutgers of last year. You know, we want to be able to get to the quarterback and excel and be good at it. And yeah, I think we did a pretty decent job at that today.
You know, I think we did a good job. I mean, to get to that situation, the first thing you got to do is stop the run. So that's a huge emphasis. And then we can get to the quarterback and rush the passer, and it's something that we've improved definitely over the whole offseason. And yeah.
Yeah. When the opportunities presented itself, I feel like we stepped up in a huge way as far as pass rush. And like Al said, first we have to stop the run to get there, and I feel like we did that today.
For Jordan or Wayne, the first pass play of the game ends up in a big play, and the explosives have been something Coach Rossi has talked about preventing. And it seemed like the defense, though, like buckled in after that. I mean, I guess from the resiliency standpoint, what allowed that, the bounce back factor for you guys, maybe after a couple of those things didn't go your way, to start dropping them for losses and do the things you did?
I'm just going to correct you just a little bit there. We're always buckled up. You know, things don't always go our way that we plan. But that's the foundation of what our defense is being able to respond when things don't go our way. Josh got beat on that first play, and then on a pivotal third down, he did a great job crack replacing and getting us a stop. And that's the kind of identity that our defense wants to be able to understand that things aren't always going to go our way. But where we're going to succeed at is being able to respond when things don't go our way. And I think that was kind of the theme for this whole game. You know, they had some big plays. You know, that was a great school, great program. You know, they had some plays, but I think we, as a defense, did a great job of responding in those situations.
Alex, was that your safety? Did you have the hit in the end zone, and did you think the defense should have had one before that? Looked like a sack, and the guy just threw it over his head.
Yeah. Yeah, we almost had 2 of them. The first one, I think he got rid of it at the last second. And then, yeah, me and Jalen Thompson had a good play, and we were able to capitalize off of it. So it's definitely fun. I remember last year we got a safety too in the home opener. So it's definitely, you know, Omari, what up, baby? What up? Yeah. No, it's, you know, it's definitely, it's exciting, man. So.
All three of you guys, I guess, we've heard a lot about the depth that you and your coaches felt like you guys had on defense. We saw a lot of players play in the front 7 tonight. Where'd you see the value of that, and how would you sort of assess just sort of the smoothness when there's so many folks running in and out and giving you guys a lot of different snaps?
Yeah, that's what, like you said, that's one of our emphasis as a defense is having strength in numbers. And I go at bat to say it was hard realizing a difference in play when certain people were on the field. we have so many guys in so many positions that are able just to keep guys fresh that maybe have been awarded that starting role. But I think collectively as a team, everybody plays their part in their rotation, whether you're the ones or whether you're a rotation guy. Everybody kind of plays their part in that role and keeping everybody fresh, which makes us outlast other teams longer when you don't have one or or two guys taking every single snap the whole game.
Yeah, I've said it before, the best D-lines, they rotate, they have to. It's a very physical position, and it's something that I take pride in. I know the whole room takes pride in, specifically stopping the run. And there can't be any drop-off. That's a huge thing. Whether it's the ones out there, the twos out there, even the threes, whoever it is, there can't be any drop-off. And, we got a lot of guys in the whole front seven even, and in the secondary as well that we're confident to put in situations, and that when we put them out there, they're going to execute. So.
These guys pretty much hit every point, honestly. It's just having that ability to have guys that can play, when a guy maybe needs a breather or something that is not going right, the next guy can step in and it won't be a drop-off like these guys mentioned. And I think that's a good thing for a defense to have is depth.
Alex, I wanted to follow up on the question about safeties. When you have a punter like Ryan that can flip the field and pin a team like that, do you feel the juice when he does that? Like, can that be an X factor for this team?
1,000%. Eckley's a great punter. Whenever they got a coming out situation, it's definitely an opportunity to get a big play like that. And so, how many do we have today? There's two of them? Two coming out? There's coming out? Backed up?
Yeah.
Two backed up, yeah. So we were 1 for 2 on getting the safety. But, if we hold them to 3 and out, the offense is, the percentages of them to score is very high. So.
I wanted to ask each of you, is there something that you can share as veterans that was very unique about this season opener that you'll probably always remember compared to other experiences?
I think for me, coming off an injury, just being able to get back out there with the guys and with my brothers and, get that first game dub is always huge, and it feels much better when the guys around you are having fun just like you are. So that's always going to be.
Don't let him lie to you. He got a pick. You got that pick. Bro.
First interception in my college career too, which is also a big thing. So
yeah. For me, this is my first season opener. Starting and being a captain of this program. So this was huge for me to kind of open it up with a win and a defensive shutout. That was huge for me.
The season opener is always huge. It's always a huge game, especially, when you haven't played for so long. It's something you crave. Like I crave it, like an addict craves something. So just the competition, it's what a lot of guys they love to do, and that's what I love to do. I love to play football. So, yeah.
Thank you.
What's up, guys? How you doing? A bit better. What you got here? Jamba Juice. I don't even know what flavor it is. Just let's do it. Just move. Just gonna go over the tips. Ooh.
All right, we got the mics on both sides for Aiden. Go ahead and start us off, Matt.
Aiden, I was wondering, you guys scored on 3 of your first drives. Offense looked pretty sharp early. What did you think of that first half performance, and then what was the difference in the second half where you guys weren't as effective moving the ball?
First half, energy, adrenaline came out shooting, came out firing. Second half, I think, they made adjustments. Then they're a good team, made adjustments. But at the same time, we got to just come out and execute, and we didn't do our job. Simple as that. It's frustrating, it's disappointing, but at the end of the day, we got the win, so I can't really be mad. But at the end of the day, we got to be better. We just got to finish stronger.
Aiden, I'm curious, when you're in a situation where the rhythm is sort of falling off and you guys are trying to get back on track, what are the things you guys can do as an offense to get back on track?
I mean, I like to go in the huddle, just be like, take a deep breath. Just, go in there, take a deep breath. We're moving too fast. We just need to slow it down, continue to do what we've been doing, just play our game. And I think we just we can't let other teams get it, I'm sorry, I can't talk. It's been a long day. But can't let other teams, dictate our pace, our speed, and how we operate. So we just got to go out there and do our thing, play our game, and, it is what it is.
I know the last couple of years, and even last year with you, staying on the field was a big thing for the offense. You were struggling to do that. You were able to kind of dominate the time of possession, even if the points weren't there. I'm wondering how much what you saw from your offensive line to kind of keep the chains moving, but also keep the clock moving and keep the defense fresh, how much that played a factor today.
I mean, it's big, when the O-line is holding up well, they make things go. Like, it starts with them. But, it's also hard when we didn't really get a lot of film on them because, new defensive coordinator and everything. But, came out and we still did what we had to do. And O-line did a good job and came out and protected me as much as they could. And, there's a few hiccups here and there, but at the end of the day, it's first game, and things are going to happen like that. So, yeah.
Does that, for the O-line, does that make their performance maybe a little better because they didn't really have the same kind of film that they usually have to study?
The O-line did great, yeah. They had some mess-ups, just some miscommunication things. But at the end of the day, we all had some. Like, as a quarterback, as a running back, receivers, we all had miscommunication. And, again, first game, get the jitters out, get the hiccups out, and, grow next week.
Aiden, how would you compare your comfort level in this game to last year against FAU?
A lot more comfortable. I mean, I would ask you though. Like, did you see me more comfortable? Like, that's a real thing. It's just I felt like I belonged. I felt like I was just ready to go. I was ready to, I could sit there in the pocket and throw the ball. I could escape when I had to escape, and I just felt like I was dictating the game. I felt like the game was under my control, and went out there and played how I did.
Aiden, we've talked with you this offseason. You mentioned, trying to grow with the mental part of the game. You come into game one against a new DC with no real history. What sort of challenge was that for you, just sort of figuring that out on the fly, and how you feel like you did in that respect?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult at first, looking at it, it's difficult, going into the game, but at the end of the day, you're going to see what they do within the first few drives. So then the first few drives hit, and we went out there and scored and did what we had to do, and we kind of got a gist of what they did. So came out and just ran off what they've been doing, what their tendencies have been, and just after the first quarter, we really had a real we could tell on what they were going to do, and we just got to execute better at the end of the day. But yeah.
I also want to ask you, if you guys are able to run the ball the way you were early in the game, what could that do for this offense if you extrapolate out to a season?
You saw it opens up the offense. We can open up the entire playbook once the run game hits, and it did. I mean, the running back, Makai had 100 yards today, 13 touches, 14 touches, and yeah, he did great. He toted the ball well, and it was just, the run game, we like to talk about it, marry the run with the pass, and we want to be able to run the ball and throw the ball. So running the ball for sure opens up everything.
Aiden, you always hold yourself accountable. What kind of grade would you give yourself for the opening performance? And what happened on the play when you came off? Did you land funny on your arm or your shoulder?
No, I got the wind knocked out of me. I'm good. Yeah, I was just, it looks soft, huh? That's on me. But nah, I got the wind knocked out of me though. But what's it called? Grade? I could be better. C+. There's things that I can work on. There's things that I need to work on. And just continue to grow each week. But we didn't score, we didn't finish, and part of it is on me. So I'll take it. I'll take the blame. Yeah, C+.
Yeah, Aiden, since the summer we've been talking about you gaining the 20 extra pounds. You had a few explosive runs. What did that actually feel like, being able to make that contact, and how did that feel having the extra weight but still feeling that you had your speed and agility and all that?
Felt good, man. I felt great. I just felt like I felt like I got snubbed on my longer run, the little cutback. But I guess I stepped out at the 9. I really don't know what happened. But yeah, I just felt like I could bounce off tackles easier. I just felt like I wasn't as easy to bring down, and but there's times where the weight got to me and I was tired, things like that, stuff like that. So it's just things that I need to work on. But overall, it felt good. Didn't feel any different from last year. Just felt like I was still playing football.
Aiden, you've got at least 11 more games this season. Do you like where you guys are at as a starting point?
I do like where we're at. This is better than what we did last year. You know, we came out and we executed to it like to an extent. We came out and scored, came out and did what we had to do. But at the end of the day, we just got to finish, and that was the goal last year too. But we got to the red zone a few times and we just didn't score. So that's things like that. Or we got past the 50 a few times and we couldn't drive after that. So it's just stuff like that. But I think this team has a lot of we're one play away from just being a great team. And we're going to continue working on that and just, going at practice with a different mentality, a chip on your shoulder, and going out there and just making things work.
All right, Jim, and then Chris to wrap us. Jim?
Can you tell me about Omari Kelly? Looks like you had a connection with him, third downs, out routes, crossing routes, and so forth. You got a connection brewing with him, and it looked like a real good comfort level. What does that do to the offense? Tell me about that connection.
I mean, you have a veteran guy that knows how to get open. I mean, makes my job pretty easy. He does his job. He runs his route right. He gets open. It makes my job pretty simple. I mean, all the receivers though, they did a great job today. I think they ran routes really well and came out. And if things worked a little better, we probably would have got some more plays off. But stuff happens. First game again. But at the end of the day, I think everybody did a really good job.
I wanted to ask you. There was one play, a fourth down play around midfield. It looked like you wanted to keep the offense out there, and coaches brought out Eckley. I wanted to get your opinion on the job that Ryan Eckley did today with the punt and pins that he had, but also kickoffs and all the field goal attempt that you guys got him there. How tough is that for a guy to make that transition? Had he been repping that much for you guys?
He ain't kicked the field goal in 3 weeks. He told me after the game. But he's he's resilient. We come out here, we're Spartan dogs. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to come out, somebody go down, we get up, and we go back, and keep pushing. But Eckley did a great job today. Pinned him in a one, got us a safety. Defense, he got him a safety. But Eckley did a great job today, just punting the ball and everything. He also says he can play quarterback too. I believe him. Well, he did his job today. So he did amazing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does it record the whole thing? Yeah. Okay, cool. That's my only concern. Thanks.
Hour? Oh my god. It'll be long. They're all I'll probably try and work some basketball ones. I didn't get his own tickets, so you'll probably see me out there. For football? Yeah. I'm working volleyball tomorrow. I don't know how that will be. Oh, you are? Yeah. Volleyball's kind of boring. Yeah. It's at 6 though, but all my buddies are leaving to go back to Grand Rapids for. So I was like, I got nothing else to do. Volleyball can be quick sometimes though. Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What do you do? Just sit down like at the scorer's table at Brez, or?
They actually have you up in this, I think they'll still do it this year, but you just sit in one of the suites. That's where kind of
Oh, really?
stuff is at.
Okay, well, I'll start kind of what I told the team. Proud of the team, finding a way to win a game. Obviously, kind of a tale of two halves, offensively, defensively throughout the night, the effort they played with. Shout out to Ryan Eckley, that punt unit, Jack, making his first start as a snapper. That was effective play out of our punt group there. But obviously, the things you want to play more consistently with. I do think defensively, that was pretty good effort and was helped by our crowd. I thought our crowd was great tonight. Energy, student section packed. I mean, it was a great atmosphere, and always appreciate Spartan Nation supporting us like that. And now, you got to move forward. We'll take a deep look at this tape. There'll be a ton to improve on and learn from. And then, this is the first game where you got your game film out there. So offense, defense, special teams, the next opponent, they're going to take a deep look at it. And so we got to find the flaws and clean some things up. But overall, you found a way to win the game, and now we look to work and improve on it.
Jonathan, obviously a lot was said about the offensive line being remade and the run game going with a couple younger, unproven guys. I guess, what do you think of their performance overall? Brandon and Mackay both averaged more than 7 yards a carry, I think, and then mixing up the offensive line with all those different combinations.
Yep, especially the first half. I mean, early on, I thought the O-line set a tone in the run game. Mackay had a great game. Brandon early with his touchdown run, and the stats show you kind of the physicality and what we want to be able to do in the run game. Want to find some more consistency though in the second half. Still, and that's run and pass. But overall, we did play more than 5 O-linemen. You guys saw rotating like we talked about, and multiple backs carried it. Was overall pleased when you got 2 backs with that kind of average yards per carry.
Jonathan, what did you make of the secondary today? Because I know there are a few of those kind of big explosive plays, but for the most part, it seemed like it was pretty tame.
Was really happy with the secondary, the response, because we were going to challenge in the secondary, and even the first drive, right? They hit the early deep ball kind of down the sideline. There was no panic defensively, kind of regrouped. I think that D-staff, Coach Rossi and that group did a nice job changing mix pressure, coverage, crowd helped us with the crowd noise. I thought we got around the quarterback a little bit. He had to get the ball out, and that definitely helped the secondary.
Jonathan, over here, when you look at the defense and not knowing exactly what Western Michigan is, are you able to have a sense of improvement and sort of the personality of this defense and where you may have some edges that you didn't a year ago?
I think the depth, the secondary depth, it was there because, again, those guys that played a lot tonight had to compete and win those jobs because we got some depth in the secondary. I think a second year in the system, the finer details, having a little bit more in the package this game 1 versus a year ago, I think that showed up. I think both Wayne and Jordan, I thought, played really well without watching, every snap defensively. Communication, flying around. Jordan Hall, you saw him, great job hitting the quarterback, not always sacking him, but those guys getting home on pressures. So there's a lot to like defensively.
And on offense, I was just wondering, like with a guy like Nick, are you holding back on what you want to show in a game like this or at all?
Not in the first half, no. I mean, we threw him a touchdown. But, we got to continue to find, I think, both Nick and then you guys saw a little bit of Omari, what he can do. McCray had a decent over route catch. Those guys can do some stuff with the ball, and we got to continue to find more ways to just get more explosive. Let's face it, in the past game, I think we had, completion percentage is whatever, but the amount of yards with it is not where we want to be.
Jonathan, what did Western do in the second half, or what didn't your team do? I think you had 205 yards and 3 scores in the first half and 52 yards for most of the second.
Yeah, give them some credit. I mean, they got some good coaches over there and made some, maybe it's halftime adjustments without diving into the tape schematics. I don't know ins and outs. I do think on the edge for them, they did a couple nice job on our tackles a couple of times. I mean, we had a couple deep shots open. We just couldn't get the ball off. So I'll give them credit, some of the pressure they were able to create on the quarterback.
Jonathan, we've heard Aiden talk about trying to improve mentally in that side of the game this offseason. When he comes into a game 1 against a defensive coordinator that's never called a game before, what sort of challenge is that on a quarterback, and how do you sort of see him trying to solve that puzzle in real time?
Yeah, we didn't want to chase ghosts, so we want to play the first couple series and find out exactly what it was going to look like. So just trust in your eyes. We got a progression or the type of read, recognize the coverage if it's 1 high or 2 highs, make it kind of simple early on to see what they were going to look like. And he had some good reps of that tonight, just going through a read, first read, second, got down to the third a couple of times. I think just again going back to the second half as an offense, whether we're talking protection, getting his eyes in the right spot, throwing it out on time, we got to find more consistency.
Jonathan, up the middle here. Coming into this game, what do you feel like in your game plan you guys accomplished just throughout, and just looking also like, hey, we can improve in week 2 on this?
Yeah, I think defensively limiting the explosive plays and getting around the quarterback. I thought we did a great job in the run game because they did, and both of them really could carry the ball, and so playing a quarterback run game, I thought they did a nice job of that. Offensively, early on, especially establishing the line of scrimmage, getting the younger, call them younger, but the sophomore back some carries, and that was great to see. On the special team side, actually even on the kickoff part of things, the hang time he was doing, guys running down, Gash is making a couple early tackles. That was awesome to see. I go back to this word of consistency, execution second half. Offensively, we got to get ourselves in better down and distance. Generally, we got to get more explosive offensively, and without watching this tape, because it's hard to sit there and go 8, 10, 12 play drives, especially in game ones. We didn't do it tonight.
Jonathan, I'm wondering about, you mentioned about the rotating of offensive linemen, but the decision to rotate them in pairs, is that something that Jim has done previously, or what is maybe the genesis and thought behind that?
I don't exactly know how it finished out playing all the time. I know at the tackle spot, Stan's really comfortable at left, Lepo at right, Connor can play both. I think there was something there at the tackle spot. And so we were going to, the tackles were going to rotate, but the guards were a little bit separate. And the other one was, in that mix is Luka Vincic. He just has a slight foot thing that earlier in the week, and so we kind of held. He's still going to be in this mix, rotating as well.
Coach, was it any thought at the end of the game after the defense got the stop on the Western Michigan side of the ball, 2 minutes left, of maybe trying to go for it, or was it just, let's just take a knee and move on to the next game?
Yeah, at that point, we felt like, taking a knee and the game was in hand. I'm really just disappointed in the previous drive. We'd want to find a way to get a couple first downs and just call it then, but hand the ball off twice, turns into a 3rd and 5, whatnot. Like to be more effective on the first and second down, so we don't put Alessio kind of in that spot on 3rd and medium to have to throw it to get a first down.
Just the game day experience, a little different. Want to get your perspective as being ground zero. You have the fireworks, the A-10 flying over. I know you're locked in for the game, but what was that like? Can you give us a little insight?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, I go back to starting with the Spartan Walk and how that thing was packed, the energy of the crowd. Student section was pretty much full as even pregame warm-ups is going on. I thought the new additions of just the energy, fireworks, even the coming out. Thunderstruck's going, we got the smoke, and I don't even know the exact detail of the CO2s and whatnot. We were in the locker room for any kind of flyover, but I think you could feel that, especially early on, of kind of this new energy of the place, because the fan experience is vitally important.
When you have the success you did in the run games, specifically in the first half, and considering that was an area where you lacked in last year, and you said it was an area you've improved in fall camp, how fulfilling is that?
It's good, especially for game one, right? We're talking about just a small sample size, and, first game to see some of that. But it's going to be a long road, a long season, finding ways to keep that going. It's not always going to be easy. We got to keep on improving, even if, whatever, Makai likes his game, he goes for over 100, whatnot. He's got to keep on tightening up his details. Because I go back to this, it's like, game ones, that's like the one sample size everybody's got to talk about for about 7 days. And so the coaches are doing the same thing, analyzing this thing. We got to keep working to get better.
Coach, you talked about the run game just now. We saw Toliver got some touches in the 3rd and 4th quarter. In which situations do you plan to utilize him this season?
He can do it all like those other two are. It's tough to rotate all three maybe equally, and so you getting him in the game and getting some carries was good to see. I know he got in a decent amount on special teams as well. And it's a long season, man, and those guys keep battling and going. There's not something specific he maybe is lacking and the other two have that we feel like we can't put him in the game. It's just tough to rotate 3 guys evenly.
Jonathan, just wondering how sort of you came away with everything with all the kicking uncertainty. I mean, we see a little bit of Blake, we see a lot of Ryan and everything. Just how did that all go in your evaluation of that at the end of it? And I guess, you hoping, I mean, does it look like that'll get smoother for you, I guess, a little bit moving forward here?
Yeah, I was obviously happy with Blake. He bangs them through on the extra points. He would have been our guy with the one field goal Eckley attempts a little bit longer, and so we felt like he gave us the best chance on that. But if it had been closer, Blake can go. The other two we're hoping to get healthy sooner than later.
The numbers on defense is something that we've heard from you and Joe Rossi and everything. It seemed like that showed up tonight with a ton of guys playing. Just to see something that you think can be a strength sort of play out that way, what would that mean for you guys?
Yeah, it does. It feels good. I think it feels good to that locker room in there. A lot of guys playing a lot of snaps, different rotations. You guys saw the packages coming in, D linemen rotating almost every other play. Some of that's strategic in regards when they substitute, but we feel like we got some depth on that side, and they play really hard together.
The one thing about the offensive line is those drives were long drives. And I'm wondering how much, one, that obviously is something that you guys want to do, but how much did you feel like that helped the freshness of the defense throughout the second half?
Yeah, I think, or especially when you look at the time of possession throughout the night, and that's a two-sided thing. Offense possessing the ball, defense getting off the field, but to have it close to 37 minutes is a total advantage, and we want to be able to do that. At the same time, I'm not shy to say we would love to score from 60 yards out, and it turns into a quick series if we can get some of that going. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. That'll be it for tonight.